Well, hello, everybody. My name is Larry Jacobs. This is Pre-K-12 Education Talk Radio. It's our second show today on August 22nd, 2023. And thank you so much for being with us to listen to my good friend Ryan Graham from TextHelp, TextHelp.com. And we're going to be talking about a webinar, a internet meeting that they're going to have, basically the past, present, and future of education and tech, etc. A glimpse into the EDU time machine. Explores, kind of how we got to where we are and where we are going. And, with AI and all that, it's really important. So Brian's going to give us all the details of that today. Again, if you want to learn more, it's over at TextHelp.com. We're going to archive the show over at ace-ed.org. That's what we always do. And that, of course, ace-ed.org is the home website of our American Consortium for Equity in Education. And we hope you go over there, get involved with our Excellence in Equity Awards. You'll see the tab. You can see our magazine. There's a tab over there for that as well. It's called Equity and Access. It's an online journal. We're pretty proud of it. So I hope you like it. We're the only ones that really focus on equity and access all the time. We do think it is important to give every kid the education that they deserve. So please check it all out. And also all our podcasts, as I mentioned, are over there. You can pick and choose and listen as you wish. And if you want to get in touch with me, just give me an email at larry@ace-ed.org. And so without further ado, taking us on his time machine, like our own little mini version of H.G. Wells, we have the one and only Ryan Graham, a fellow United Kingdom person, I might add, like Mr. Wells was. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Larry. How are you?
Have you ever been compared prior to this to H.G. Wells?
I haven't. This it's a new one for me today, but I absolutely love the comparison. I like as well. The last time I was on the show, we were talking about aliens. And this time H.G. Wells, so this is all right up my street.
I'm trying to build you up. That's my goal here, Ryan. It's good to have you here, buddy. And you're in Ireland. Are you in Ireland today? I got the feeling you're in Ireland today.
I am. I'm back in Ireland today. Back in standard Irish weather of lots of rain, grey skies, even during the summer months. I know.
Oh, that's too bad because around here, it's bright and sunny, and I think it's about 75 degrees Fahrenheit, I might add. Right, so it's good here in Maine. Sorry, you're gray.
Excellent.
Yeah, what can I tell you?
The Irish, we're used to it at this stage. That's okay, we're used to it.
What happened to the beautiful green sod of Ireland there? Okay, well, it comes from the rain. There we go. Okay, hey. What date is this? I'm calling it a webinar. What are we calling it? A back-to-school conference? I see that phrase here. What do you want to call this?
Yeah, it's a back-to-school conference. We're recording webinar sessions really about different topics in education, and we're really looking at what has happened in the education sector over the past number of years, what's happening now in the landscape, and my session was really all about what does the future look like of education, and in particular, what does the future of education look like in a world where AI exists?
Yeah, and it's going to be a fascinating transition. And again, we over the past 20 years, EdTech has, let me say that differently, education has changed so much due to technology, okay? And so important this day and age, I got to say, because we know we have a teacher shortage, we have a professionalist shortage in education in all aspects of what we need in schools, and the kids are so technologically oriented. There's going to be some big changes this year. And when does this all start to become available to people?
So this is available right now. You can watch the recordings on TextHelp.com website. So if you search for the Guide to the Future, my session is the future of AI in education, lessons from the time machine. So if you search for that on the TextHelp.com website, you should be able to find all my session and also some of the other sessions that are on there too.
Okay, super. So just again, everybody, which is a company I love, at TextHelp.com. Okay. Now, Ryan, do you want to start off? And I have various categories here, past, present, future. Do you want to talk about past and present, or you just want to do your side of the future thing? Where do you want to start?
Yeah, let's talk about the past, because it sort of builds up a picture as to how we sort of have arrived here in the present, and that kind of obviously affects the shape of education going forward in the future. So if we look at the past and kind of how the educational sector and educational technology has kind of evolved over the past decade, I think one of the important things to remember in this is that everybody now in education has devices. The devices are everywhere, whether it's a phone, sort of low-cost hardware like Chromebooks in the classrooms. Teachers have Chromebooks, smart boards. You know, you can't get away from educational technology. Devices are everywhere.
Well, technology, so I just have to say, and I just have to interrupt, technology, you don't have to say educational technology, anybody, not you, everybody. I mean, technology is a deeply embedded 99% thing, all right, in education. It's just part and parcel. You know, I always like to make sure people understand that. I think they do. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Really good point. And I think really that's what's helped shape the past decade in education is this sort of transition from, you know, pencil, paper, that kind of way of working to, you know, sharing out documents on your learning management system, sharing out documents, you know, on your phone to your classroom, on your smart board. I think that's really had a massive impact on education over the past couple of years. And whenever I say prevalence of devices, I should say that there are a lot more devices than there were previously. But that's not to say that everybody has a device, because you and I know, Larry, that's not the way things work in education. There are those kids who don't have access to devices. There are schools who are obviously budget stretched as well, and, you know, struggling to meet the needs of devices for kids. But I think that there is a lot more technology in education now than there ever was before, and that's obviously had a huge impact in education. And not to mention, and I'm sure at some point in the future we will stop bringing it up, but the impact that COVID has had on that, I think has accelerated the use of those devices, and has accelerated the use of remote learning, and teachers and educators as well becoming more comfortable with using tools, using software in the classroom. Obviously, that's been a huge change for educators over the past couple of years, having to get, you know, to grips with these new systems, new tools, new ways of working in the classroom. I think that's really sort of shaped, you know, what has brought us to this point today in education. I would agree. The world has changed out there. So right now you see it device oriented. Okay, where do you see it? If I may, Ryan, you ready? Where do we go in the future from here? What's going on? What happens? So what happens next? Yeah. And by the way, I just want to say, TextHelp is a company that has put together devices that help people who need, I'm going to call it extra help in writing, reading, and mathematics. Okay? And of course, if we can improve reading and improve mathematics, reading improves literacy, mathematics takes us beyond third grade and eighth grade, if I may. Okay? And the work you guys do, okay, is incredibly important. And the fact is that, you know, literacy is the big problem. It always is. Reading scores, as you know, with NAEP were way, way down. Okay, here you have products that help people with that. Mathematics scores are always pretty gruesome, all right? And so many kids get stuck, okay, with this. And you guys, I just want to say this, have the technological products that help people overcome these challenges. And that's why we're talking today, because you have to understand. I sounded like a Philadelphian a minute ago, which I am talking, okay? But that's exactly, okay, why we're here today. You've got the products to create something different in the future. And now AI is coming down the pike. That's where we are. What's going on, Ryan? If I may just preface what you were going to say with all that, which I already did. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Larry. I mean, yes, we build assistive technology products for both literacy and maths as well to sort of help
help kids who need that extra support. I mean, you say extra support, but I think some of the best implementations
most kids,
that we've
let me just say, most kids need that extra support.
They
need it square.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think some of the best implementations we've seen of assistive technology is when assistive technology is not seen as that special tool. It's seen as that thing you give to your entire class, your entire school, your entire district, and then obviously making sure that you give the students and the educators the tools, the supports, the training to be able to make the most of it as well. Because just rolling it out and hoping for the best is never the way to do things either. But making sure that you have that support for everybody in the classroom who needs it has been, the forefront of how we do things here at TEXTHELP. And we think that is the best way that, learners can learn whenever they're independent and they have access to all the tools that they need. So that's where we like to place our tools. And up until today, that's been very successful. People love our software. They love the way that sort of makes them feel independent. But I think that where TEXTHELP can help whenever it comes to AI and on the future of education is that AI is a super complicated thing to understand. Like even ChatGPT, loads of people have tried it. It's very, very sort of difficult to get your head around. It's even more difficult to get your head around if you're, for example, an educator and you're doing 500 things during your class day and somebody comes along to you and says, hey, how can we use this ChatGPT thing in your class? You have to go and find out about it. What does it do? How do I understand it? How do I use it in my class? But I think that's where TEXTHELP can come in because, like you said, we've been doing this for 20 years and we know how this can help in your educational settings. So it's our intention to take the AI tools and embed them within our existing software. So if our existing software is already in schools, in classrooms, the students know how to use it, let's bring those opportunities that AI brings into the software that they're already using to really help make their schoolwork, help make their learning journey even better with those AI opportunities. And like I said, AI
when you say that, wait a minute. When you say that, I have to say this: you are the Chief Technology Officer over at TEXTHELP. When we say something with technology, you get it instantaneously. A lot of people are like, me. Okay, when you say you're going to embed AI software into your products, and everybody's thinking about this for their particular products. Every company is. Okay, what does that actually mean? How do you foresee AI working? Take one of your products. Okay, how do you foresee AI software working in there? Like how would a kid use it? How would a teacher use it?
Yeah. So that's a really good question. So some of the ways that we have sort of been looking at and some of the things that we're planning to do are really around personalizing the learning experience for each individual kid and each individual student.
Right.
Saving teachers time as well. That's a big one for me. I always talk about it, and I think AI has a huge way of it's got a massive opportunity for helping sort of save teachers time. And one of the examples actually that we're doing at the moment is we're actually using Equatio and our math tool, Equatio. We are going to allow teachers to create a quiz for a specific topic and a specific grade at the click of a button. So they don't need to sit and build a math quiz anymore. They don't need to figure out how to write math notation. The teacher can just go in and say, okay, today I need a quiz on differential equations for grade X. Go. And it will automatically create the quiz for you, and you can share that out with your students. So that's just one of the ways that we have seen has been, a massive opportunity for AI within our own products. And that's just really one example of something that we think could be beneficial. There are, tens. I've got lots of ideas in my head. We've got loads of ideas in the roadmap for expanding that to all of our other products like Read and Write and Orbit Note and all those different tools. But that's just one example of the way that we're taking the AI opportunities, but embedding it into the tools that teachers and students are using on an everyday basis.
And Ryan, how do you see it? I don't know if I've thought this through, but curious. That's the way a teacher might use it. How do you see a kid using AI in whatever product you want to mention? And the other one was Equatio.
Yeah.
Just how do you see a student using it inside the tool?
That's a good question. So we also have Read and Write, obviously, which is our literacy tool,
right.
And that's probably more used by students than it would be for educators. And within our literacy tool, we're actually building out a feature which will allow you to summarize and simplify an article on a web page. So, for example, say you're a teacher and you want to learn about lions or something in the Sahara, and you send all your kids to an article on a website, but it's maybe too complicated for some of the kids to read. Some of the kids can maybe read it okay. Some of the kids are struggling to understand the content. And this button will allow you to simplify the entire page for each individual student to their level.
Really? So
that you can give the same content to your entire class, and regardless of their level or their reading abilities, they will be able to understand that content and understand the concepts within it the same way as somebody sitting next to them in their class. And we think that could be a
let me get this straight. You could actually tell Read and Write or any product. You could say create. I don't know how you would do it on individual screens. I'm sure there's a way to do that. But you could make this article, make the Declaration of Independence. I'm just saying that. No offense to the British, who, by the way, we were trying to give away there. But a bad example. But you know what I'm saying. Take the Declaration of Independence and put it at a fourth grade reading level. Could you actually be able to do that?
We are going to do that. You should see that feature actually arrive inside Read and Write within the next number of weeks, potentially the next month or so.
And a teacher, you have 10, 15, 20 kids in the class. Okay, the teacher could say, for Billy and Susie, we want it at an 8th grade level, but for Jimmy and Marianne, we want it at a 6th grade level. And it could actually do that.
Exactly. We've strayed away from using grade levels as a measure, but we can simplify or even make the content more complicated for those who want to really, push themselves to understand larger words, larger context, and so on and so forth. But either way, each individual student can have the same content and the same information presented to them in different ways. And that's just one example of all the different things you can do with AI and generative AI, really personalizing that learning experience without adding more pressure to the educator, without adding more tasks onto the teacher's desk.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so the machine, if I may, can actually figure that with the AI software embedded in it, the machine can actually figure out what level this particular child who's looking at this machine right now is working at, and create the resource that's at their level so they understand it. That's an AI function, right?
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. I
think so. We're pretty excited about it, and this is really just our sort of first dipping our toe into the water of all the AI features that we're going to be bringing out for the next couple of months.
Okay, so let's just say somebody, has TEXTHELP products already. Will they be able to add this into it, or would it require a whole new machine? This is like a science fiction here.
This will be part of our Read and Write offering, and it'll be part of our premium Equatio and premium Read and Write offerings for all of our existing users as well. I should say as well, we've been prepping these features for quite a long time. A lot of other products, a lot of other software has sort of shipped a lot of AI features already. We really wanted to take our time over this here at TEXTHELP because whenever you're using AI in an educational setting, that's different than using AI for your general consumer. We really wanted to make sure that we were taking privacy, security of students into account right from the off. So we wanted to make sure that we put as many safeguards in there as possible into the products before we roll these features out. We're also very conscious as well that a lot of schools and districts are not really comfortable with ChatGPT and AI right now. And
I got news for you. They're going to get comfortable real quick. Okay, this is the future. Yeah. It's coming down the pike. You know, it's just amazing. And you know, it brings up an interesting thing. You wanted me to ask this, and I don't see a problem with this. I see good with this, but there must be like it's like the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other. There's ethical concerns. There's social concerns. What do you see? What do you see there in the terms of the ethics of using it? And for the things you're describing, I don't see much of a problem, but maybe there is one that I'm not finding. So what do you see, Rob?
So this is actually really important. I think this is critical whenever it comes to education, thinking about the ethics of AI. And the reason we've chosen these two specific features is because we agree with you, Larry. We don't think that there's a massive implication or a massive risk here whenever it comes to ethics. But we have to remember with these AI models and with these new versions of AI, and the data sets that they are using, so these systems themselves are not diverse. They haven't been trained on diverse information. So they do have a tendency to lean towards bias. And in that way, we really need to be very conscious about how we use these systems. You know, if we want to make sure that we use these systems responsibly. So making sure that whenever we are releasing these features, they don't have a detrimental effect to the student or to an educator as well. I think that is something that is very, very important, particularly whenever we're dealing with kids' education. We want to make sure that any features that we provide with these AI are really thought that this could have a material impact on the student. Therefore, is the AI the appropriate tool to use, given that we know some of these models are prone to bias? So every feature that we look at as a potential for AI, that's the question that we need to ask. And you know what? Everybody needs to ask themselves. Even if there's an educator out there who's using ChatGPT, they need to be using ChatGPT with the mindset that, hey, this model is biased, so I can't trust the output that it gives me 100%. I, as an educator, need to review that to make sure that it is appropriate and representative of the results that I want to get out of it.
Well, when and I know you did this, okay? You guys, you don't put a product out there without researching it in schools, all right? And as you were putting this all together, what were you hearing? Was it the social and ethical concerns that were concerning people in schools as you put this together, or were there other things that came up? What should we look out for? Why would you not want to use this? Whatever the question would be. How'd that work? What did they say?
So I think the social and ethical side of things was definitely a question, absolutely. But one of the other things that if you search for ChatGPT in education in Google right now, the headlines you're going to get is cheating, and more cheating.
Ridiculous.
And I think that really shows concerns. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's where really a lot of the schools and districts' concerns have come from in using ChatGPT to cheat. So the way that we've designed these features is that sort of it takes the ability away from the student to even use these features for cheating, even if they wanted to. So that's been a big part of our planning around how we use these AI features, and that will be going forward as well. Although, again, just to reiterate, I don't think there's really anything stopping from a student going to ChatGPT anyway. So that is something I think the education sector over the next couple of years is going to have to get with.
Yeah, and in reality, it doesn't matter because we're supposedly preparing people for professions, for the workplace, for careers, whatever you want to do. And nobody in the world doesn't use a calculator, except perhaps maybe a Chinese person who likes to use his abacus. But an abacus is simply their own calculator. Okay? It's not cheating to use a tool. All right? We use a hammer, not a rock, to drive a nail because we have the tool. All right. And so society uses the tool. The best thing a school can do is teach kids how to use the AI, is to use it themselves, because that's what's going to be out there when these kids are in the real world. All right. If we don't Teach them how to use the tools. It's ridiculous. It's not cheating. It's not cheating at all. And people have to come to that grip. It doesn't matter to schools if the kids, quote, are learning as deeply as they should about this instead of using AI. The fact of the matter is AI is there. They're going to use it anyway, just like they use Google for search. Okay? They don't go to the library anymore. Yeah, it's just a fact of life. And you have to deal with this. And
more importantly, they need to be taught how to use it responsibly as well. You need to be the first person to teach them how to use it responsibly and how to use it for all the things that it's good at, rather than use it for the things that you shouldn't be using it for.
Ryan, I could not agree more. I mean, this is so timely and so important. As I said earlier, you guys make products that help kids overcome challenges, reading, writing, math. All right? And this is where it's going. So the sooner we get it embedded into education, the better off we are. Now, we may make a few mistakes at the beginning, but who cares? They solve themselves. Okay, it's that simple. So this is all up on the website right now at texthelp.com, right?
Yep, that's right. And you can watch that session and lots of other sessions as well. There's some fantastic sessions, lots of better speakers than I should say. Like.
Oh, come on. Give yourself all the credit in the world. You're a very good speaker, I'm sure. I know, because you're here with me all the time. Ryan, thanks a million, pal. Okay, we'll do more together, as we always do, but this is just fascinating, and I hope a lot of people go and check this out and start to really understand the impact of this and the role of education in the impact. Just key stuff. All right, what can I tell you? Ryan Graham, you're the best. Okay, enjoy the rest of a much shorter day than we have. What time is it there? It's already 4 o'clock? Is it 4 o'clock there?
4 p.m. 4 p.m. today now.
Yeah, only an hour left, and you can go home and have the typical Irish meal of porridge and baked bread. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
That's a joke.
Right.
I would hope you'd have a Guinness.
No, you're right.
Yeah. And a baked potato, of course. Okay.
Of course.
Ryan, thanks a million, pal. You have a good day. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Larry. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Doesn't he? Thank you, Ryan. Ryan does not really just eat porridge and baked water for a dinner. Okay. All right. Yeah, I swear he doesn't. All right. We're going to archive the show over at ace-ed.org. All right. It's not a typical Irish dinner. All right. And all right, we're going to archive the show at ace-ed.org and hope you go over there and listen, okay, and tell your friends about all we do about equity access. And what TextHelp does, by the way, is really great. They really help people overcome challenges. And Ryan said it best. These things are not just for kids this is for everybody. This is for everybody. Okay, that's all there is to it. So thanks for listening. I'm Larry Jacobs. You guys have a good day. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Take care.